Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Hello and welcome to Miguel and Holly Uncensored, our off-air podcast that we do 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Check out our other podcasts like Miguel and Holly Full Show podcast. Lots of
please do.
moments that you may miss, and share this podcast or any of our others with some friends.
Sharing is caring.
Right.
Yes, it is.
And you can always, when you're listening, just take a screenshot, tag us on your Instagram story at Miguel and Holly, and we'll reshare it too.
Beach Babe Amber does it all the time.
Yes,
on Insta.
she does. She is faithful, and I love it.
Yes.
We are waiting for a special guest to hop in here. But before that happens, one of the craziest things we were getting ready to come on, and I was on Facebook, and someone we used to work with, Holly, posted a picture of their son who I guess is now in high school and plays a sport.
Uh-huh.
And it's just, I don't know if it's you just never think you'll get old, but I just continually find myself looking at people with kids and being like, oh my God, I can't believe they're that big or they're that old. And it's wait, but how old am I now? Oh my God. It's just,
yes.
I don't know. No one prepares you getting older and just seeing how the world is just changing right in front of your eyes. We just had this big meeting for our company where things in the radio industry, things that we've been thinking were happening, it's this is the time where the switch is flipping on some things behind the scenes, nothing that'll affect, what you hear, but it's sort of updating and things like that. And it's just we just sat through a day of change. That'll be the day that we're things were different.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Nothing truly highlights it, besides children. Because if you don't see a child ever, and you just stay in a bubble of the group of your friends or whatever, even if you invite new friends over that are younger, you still feel like you're young until you visually see it in watching a kid that you saw as a baby or a child, and then suddenly they're grown, now they're in middle school, suddenly they're a young adult, and you're like, no, I knew you as a 3-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening here? It really visually puts your brain into reality check mode.
That are Facebook memories.
No,
the skin elasticity is not the same every time. Because I started Facebook in 2010. So I was a junior in high school. And, the way that Facebook around that era, it was kind of like Twitter. You would write every single thought, post up every single photo.
Mm-hmm.
So I get constantly reminded.
Yeah.
It's the Facebook memories.
Some of the things on Facebook is where we used to talk in third person about ourselves. Holly is enjoying a relaxing day on the couch.
That was a phase, yeah.
That's so cringe. And I just some of the stuff I'm what is Facebook? But I do miss those very innocent days, because in the internet those days you could put up there I have a lot of stuff where I'm I'm jumping into, True Blood season 1, and everyone's just oh, that's cool. It was very supportive. Not a single person was you communist bitch.
That show is problematic.
Yes, there simply wasn't people that were screaming at you, because if they did, you'd be whoa,
Whoa.
What's wrong with you? And now the internet is only
trash
screaming at you.
Just
so anyway,
trash.
We are indeed aging, and it's very insane to see. And I saw something that reminded me of that too, Miguel, is I saw a TikTok where, did you show me this one? Where did I see this? It was a TikTok where a woman was my Gen Z, or maybe it was Gen Alpha kid, was ugh, you're so cringy, telling their millennial mom, because she was wearing something millennial-esque, whatever it is. You're so, that is so cringe. You're so millennial. And so then the mom was okay, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to put on this thing that's clearly very Gen Z. And then the Gen Z was ugh, you are so cringe. Stop trying to be young. Stop trying to be us.
Oh.
And I was
my
what
God.
do you want us to do?
Right.
Age.
And
more.
so, yes, it's you're coming after us for being the age we are, but then you're also coming after us for trying to like be younger, and it's almost like, what do you want? Like, leave us alone.
I don't know. And I think the balance is subjective, because I went to the club and I saw this like older dude trying to wear Gen Z clothing, and it was fashionable and it looked cool, but you could tell like you aged out of that. So like, how old can you dress in a Gen Z fashion? Is there a part where it becomes cringy? What is that line? And I think that's subjective, and that's the issue.
It is subjective. And then if you decide, okay, it's too much for me, what do you wear?
Right. I really think it comes down to like your swagger, because I think about some of the top celebrities that are fashionable, and these are people that are around our age that are really great with fashion. And I think it just depends on, are you a fashion person who knows how to dress themselves, or are you just emulating what you see and it just doesn't look right? Like, I think about the older guys way back in the day when we were in our 20s and we'd be going to Club La Vila in Panama City. Yeah. And then you would have the guys in their 40s with like the Ed Hardy shirts. And like it looked and felt like they were trying too hard, even though that's what we were wearing. And you could just be like, girl, I know your hair's dyed. I know you got gray underneath that beard. Why are you acting? And so that's why I feel like I'm at that cusp where I'm having a hard time trying to figure out like where I fit in those sort of things, because like I'm dyeing the roots of my hair just because my hair's twisted, and like it just, to me, it just looks unkempt. Like if it was like my grandma had a really cool like just gray patch in her hair.
I'm so jealous of people that have like one section of their head that pops out like silvery shimmery hair. I'm like, how did you do that?
One of my friends, Sunita, here in Charlotte, she's Indian, and she has this beautiful long black hair, but right on one side is a long streak of gray, and she has like little like specks here and there.
Right. But it's like concentrated.
Right. And it's so beautiful. But then mine are just like wiry, like all over the place. And so I'm just like, dye that bitch. Just dye it. But then like now it's like my chest hair is turning gray, my beard, and then my mustache. And then this is the one that I've just been like,
where?
Uh-oh.
Where?
Say it.
Show it.
No. You really?
We're on camera.
Well, there's two places.
Oh!
Not this.
And you can see the photos right now on the Miguel and Holly Instagram.
Just go to the Miguel and Holly Instagram story, but you got to shake it so it'll unblur.
Oh my God.
The Polaroid filter.
No, so it's my nose hair.
Oh,
I've started to see that it's great. And like that, because at first I kept blowing.
That is shocking.
I know. I was like blowing my nose, and then I was like, okay, looking in the mirror. I was like, make sure I got everything. And then I was like trying to get it, and I was like, oh, that's a hair.
Those are growing longer for me. Is that aging?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
You're still young, so.
Well, and then it's where you think it is. I was doing some
down
upkeep.
Below.
Yep. I was doing some upkeep, and then I was like, oh! Damn it!
I don't even. I saw some lady on TikTok also, like a 50-year-old woman was like, I keep it up. I don't even need to look anymore. I just keep it up by myself. But then one day I happened to have to look, and she was like, holy! It's a what did she call it? It was so funny. She's like, it's icicles or whatever. Just asked her husband. She's like, has this been happening? He's like, yeah, I don't know. And she's like, you didn't say anything.
He's like, well, I wasn't gonna stop what I was doing to be like,
right.
Look at that white hair down there.
She was just like, oh my goodness. But anyway,
Anyway, we have our guest is here.
Oh, okay.
They've stepped in. But there you go.
I'm getting old.
Welcome back. Soul Worker Stacy.
Hi. How are you guys?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm fine. You know how it is. I'm so excited to see you guys. I feel like it's been forever.
It has. We sort of took the summer off just because our schedules were so sporadic this summer.
Yeah.
And so we didn't have any readings. And today we're not going to have any readings. Readings free. This is just catching up, seeing how your summer was, what's going on, and what do we have to look for. Because I know we just got out of like a crazy Mercury retrograde, but I feel like some other stuff is going down.
2 moons.
I don't think it means anything, but it's just cool.
It could.
I don't know. It feels like
could.
Something's
Does it have that gray hair? No.
I was gonna say, like, what is happening? But before we get to all that, Stacey, how was your summer?
Summer was good. Summer was busy. Summer went by way too fast, entirely way too fast. And it's funny that you mentioned this Mercury retrograde thing, because I don't know about you guys, but it feels like it's still going, even though it's not. I have had so many clients get in touch with me going, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm having an emotional meltdown. Nothing's going right. And it's fascinating to me because it really is a thing. And it's got to be this whole 2 moon crazy energy thing going on. And it's just, it's chaotic, to say the very least.
And I know that I mentioned this, but I don't have all of the proper names or tools to like say it. And this is where I hate to speak on it, because I'm like, oh, nobody's gonna believe I know what I'm talking about, because I can't speak on it well. But like, it's like this whole year we're like jumping into the age of Aquarius, right? But from the beginning of September until like midway through November, we had to go back into like where we were, because it's like the past decades have been one way. And then we started a new way back in like February or March. And then we have a quick break where we have to go back to the old ways. And we're having to like get rid of all of these things and go through like deep healing of ourselves and understanding ourselves. And then by the very end of the year, we're going to be back to the new way of doing things moving forward. And I only knew that because, I mean, selfishly, I looked at my own stuff. I'm a Capricorn, and Capricorn is one of the signs that was like, you know, we've had 16 years in this, whatever pattern we've been in. So it's going to be, you know, cardinal signs are going to be having a better time because we've been going through all the shit. And so like this year was sort of like a preview of coming attractions. But then in the fall here, September, October, November, we got to like go back and make sure that we're clear, make sure that we've really done the work, and then moving forward into the new space. I don't even know if that made sense, but that's what I have seen on TikTok. That's where am I learning.
Yes. And the other thing too, is I don't know about you guys, but it's almost like we left off in 2020. And then all of a sudden, or 2019, and then all of a sudden we're here. Like the last 4 years didn't exist. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a lot of playback from back then showing up now.
I feel that. I feel that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So what can we expect? Because I do feel like, especially like technology wise, I mean, even just here at work, we've had some crazy technical stuff over the past 2 weeks. And I was thinking, isn't that supposed to be a Mercury retrograde thing? Why is this still happening to us right now?
That's a really great question. Even getting on here today, I could not get on. And it was the first time in how many years? So I was like, okay, this is not working for me. So yeah, it's been a very, how do I say, shit show? So it's fine. God, we smile and we move on and we learn from it. And that's the other thing too, is those of us that are going through stuff. And I want you guys to take this opportunity to look at it as a growing experience and a way to become an example for somebody else to go through their stuff. We get to experience a lot of the things that we experience because we touch somebody else's life. And so I promise you, it's very temporary. By January, things are going to start moving into a better direction. And I haven't talked to any of you for a while on purpose. So that way, when I did come back on air, I'd be like, Shazam, Shazoom. And yeah.
I love a Shazam. I love a Shazam.
Well, before we sort of get into what you feel about us coming up, you know, in the next year, what are your feelings and what is the earth giving energy wise to you about what's about to happen in a month and a half with our election?
46 days.
46 okay, are you ready for
hard to say? I mean,
no, it's not when you're me.
Period.
Period. I really believe that vice president's going to end up winning the presidency. It is this gut in my stomach feeling about it. So it is what it is. And, you know, what?
Do you get any feeling of, one of my things is political violence, is we Like the threshold of what we thought was crazy and abnormal has been like the bar has just been lowering itself. And it's like, oh, well, we don't, all the things that we've talked about copious amounts of times in this podcast. So we all know, what's been happening. But it just really scares me that unless whoever wins, and this is, well, no, I take that back. Let me not both sides them. If Kamala Harris wins, and it's not by a large margin to where the other side, and I'm not saying just like a blanket everybody, but for those like people that are super, wrapped up in
maybe in
the
a
cult,
conspiracy or something.
in the
I was
conspiracy,
going to say very passionate about their feelings.
That's the word. That's a choice of word,
right?
yes.
They're conspiracy theorists. Do you feel that they're going to go, okay, I accept these results. Let's go back and retool and let's figure out a new game plan, because what we've been trying to do the past 2 elections with this person as our head isn't really working.
The thing is, and this is strictly like my spider vibes, you know what I mean? My little Spidey vibes going with this is no matter what, we're going to have that. No matter who wins, we're going to have that on each side, because there are people particularly passionate about the way they feel that this country needs to go into. The thing that worries me and scares me and makes me sad is that we're losing friendships over strangers that have nothing to do with us because we don't agree on political stance. Mm-hmm. And that to me is just despicable. It doesn't matter who's going to end up leading our country. We all need just to be united as one for each other, because we're people. We live here. We're neighbors. We're family. We're friends. And like, you go on Facebook and you see the extremists on each side. I'm not picking sides to blame, but y'all know what I mean. And it's heartbreaking the amount of hate that is going on behind this. And it's just, I know that if she does win, that there are going to be all of those other people with the conspiracy theorists. But the other thing that I've learned about conspiracies is that 75% of them turn out to be true. So, but that doesn't mean that the entire election was rigged or anything like that. But you know what I mean. It's the bottom line is, it's so sad how many people are willing to ruin relationships, friendships, and everything over a stranger that has nothing to do with you. We'll never meet you. We'll never put you in a position to make you feel loved or wanted. They're the leader of the free country, but there's nothing to benefit from that, if that makes sense.
I sort of half agree with you on that. I do think that there are some instances where that is the case. I think where I sort of draw the line, because I'm all about, hearing the other side, but I feel like when it gets to the disinformation part of it, where it's like we're not even arguing about, or we're not debating about the same facts, and I'm like, I don't even know what to say to you, because we're not even in the same room talking about the same set of facts.
Right.
And so when you have people that, and this is what's been sad to me, is some people that I really respect and look up to, and every day when I see them post some demeaning meme about, Kamala Harris and about how she slept her way to the top, or, is she really black, or, these sort of things, where I'm like, okay, if you were like, hey, what is her economic policy on the border, and why has she flip-flopped on these issues? Girl, let's talk about it. Let's absolutely talk about it. But when you go that route, I'm like, I know you have a daughter and you're posting these things. Like, I don't want to be associated with you because you're willing to say these things about a woman when it's not true. And even if it was true, who cares? How does that affect anything? And so that's why, yes, I do agree that it is sad that we've lost relationships for it. But it also, and especially because we're not debating economic policies or actual policies, it's about people's characters and how they're attacking them. And then to me, that's when I'm like,
yeah,
it's bad gossip. I mean, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's so disgusting. I mean, there are people that I've seen on my Facebook And I'm like, but you don't even know her. You don't even know the whole story. You've been told, and so you listen to it. And it's like people on that side of the spectrum will go, oh, well, everyone just follows people, but they're doing that. Right. You know what I mean? They just follow what they're told, and that's the end of it. Nobody wants to actually dive into what are facts, what aren't facts, and how that goes down. So it's very fascinating to me about how this has turned into what it has turned into. And so I do think yes.
What makes me sad is that we can't agree what are facts anymore.
Right.
That's the saddest thing, is that along the way over the past 10 years or so, we have lost track of how we get information in America, who provides factual information. And so that's, I think for me, probably out of all of the loud, cacophonous, back and forth of the whole thing, we've lost sight. And I think it goes for everyone, because so many people don't know how to truly get to the bottom of what they find online, because everyone started saying, do your research. And I mean, you can say that about anybody, Democrats can say, do your research. Republicans can say, do your research, but nobody actually knows how to do research anymore. And it's very sad, because we're not able to all have common ground on, okay, this is false. We can spin that in a different way, but like, this is false, this is fact. And that's, to me, the scariest thing that has come out of the political landscape.
Right.
Absolutely.
To me, a perfect example is this whole story about the eating the dogs and the cats in Springfield, Ohio. And to me, this is where I'm like, I can't with some people who continue to spread this stuff, where I'm like, here's what would have happened 15 years ago. Donald Trump would have said that, and then this whole thing would have spun out. And then we found out from the governor of Ohio, from the mayor of Springfield, from the police officers there, reputable people that are there, boots on the ground, that said that is not a true story. What would have happened 15 years ago, if it were Mitt Romney running as president who said that at debate, he would have come back and said, you know what? I apologize. I had bad information. I want that community, though, who are Americans, who are legal Americans, to be safe. So let's back down.
Right.
That is what would have happened 15 years ago. But now they doubled down on it. And so that's why when people I see on social media that are like, but it's not true. And I just want to be like, but who's telling you it's true? Like, can we just tell me, did you drive to Springfield, Ohio? Did you go to a Haitian person's home? And did you see them with your own two eyes eat a cat or a dog?
They got it from a meme.
That's
what pisses me off.
From a meme. Yeah.
People reshare information and a picture and a quote.
I saw some lady that was like, I know a Haitian girl. Look, this is my text with her. I asked if Haitian people eat cats, and she said, yes, they sometimes do. So clearly it's happening. And I was like, wait a second.
Seriously, I have had that exact thing happen to me. And I'm like, you guys, like, come on. Like, come on.
Like, by the way, I'm sure in the history of Haiti, people have eaten cats.
And in America.
And I'm comfortable enough to bring my cat.
We got a cat. Not Stacy's cat.
I feel confident to bring my animal to Ohio. Because
I got some onion rolls we can slap that cat with. I got some truff sauce we can put on him. Come on,
cat.
Take the cat. It's like Elf. Elf, the little alien brown guy eating the cats in the living room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alf. Yeah.
Alf. Yes.
Alf. Mm-hmm.
Alf.
It's so funny. I was going through for our Ask Us Anything on Instagram, because someone asked us, what have we done for drinks before? And I was trying to find this one picture from college, and so I ended up back in my like hidden college albums on Facebook, and one of them was from this Halloween party that one of our friends dressed up their wiener dog in a hot dog costume, and then he like picked up the dog and was like biting into the costume. And I was like, I should post this, it's funny. And then I'm like, nope, I'm not. I'll just let this stay hidden.
Anyway, yes.
So Stacy, let's talk about what do you see for us coming up in the next for the rest of the year?
Or
so, darling, we'll start with you, Miguel, because where are you going? Like, okay, yes, that's a really vague question and all that other fun stuff. But first of all, I keep seeing you going overseas. So I don't know if you guys are talking about going into that direction, but it's like a really like lifelong bucket list kind of thing going on.
I predicted that too earlier.
We
have connection.
Okay.
I got so sold.
Well, Stacy, I'm going to ding you
ding, ding.
because actually last week we booked our summer cruise for Athens, Turkey, and there's one more I can't remember. And I'm like really nervous about it as I was doing it because I'm like, I've never like it feels like a lot. And then also to me, I texted Holly about it and I got emotional when I did it because I'm like, I literally never thought in my life I'd be able to afford this. Still can't. That's why we're making payments. But right, but I can.
You can.
You can.
Also, we've learned more as we have become older adults on how to put money aside and shuffle things.
There's no shame in making payments. That's a very responsible thing to do.
Right. And it was like 16 years ago when we started working together. My biggest goal was to be able to buy lunch for myself every day. That was my goal to reach to.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, some friends of ours, we're going to Europe to celebrate my 40th birthday next year. So, and I have not talked about that anywhere. So there you go.
You heard it first.
I'm so happy because first and foremost, this trip is going to be incredible. You don't have to worry about any weird boo. You have in your mind thought of all the really bad things that could happen already. No.
Always.
No. It's just not going to happen that way. Everything is going to be safe, fine. No one's going to get sick. No one's going to get hurt. No one's going to get kidnapped. Everything is good.
Did you think about that?
You had a dream or you have this weird Miguel. Ugh. So yeah.
I know.
He loves disaster scenarios.
100%. Because I think we're staying, and this is another thing that stressed me out because I'm gonna have to. Will probably be outside of our Christmas break the longest time that we will be taking off next July. And I was like, oh my God, like what if our boss says no? Like I feel like I should.
How long is it? It's not that long.
It's 7 days, but we're also wanting to stay in Barcelona for a couple of days afterwards. To really experience it.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Girl, don't act stupid.
And so we are.
Feel like a Spanish.
Like
You're gonna feel Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
In Spain.
So yeah, of course. But then I was like, wait. So we're gonna like Airbnb a place? Like, what if someone's gonna kidnap us? Like, what do we hide our money? Like
a hotel. I mean,
I've already thought about those things. So yes.
And they're so friendly over there, and they're so like legit. It's nothing like here. And you see, and when I travel overseas, you kind of get in that mindset that everything just kind of carries over. No, they're so much nicer. They're so much more. You'll see. It's an experience you have to deal with on your own, but it is going to really legit be wonderful for you.
I'm actually worried about the food over there for you, Miguel, because you love chemicals, and there is none of that. There's absolutely none of that in the food. Like people eat dairy, like
preservatives. Haven't heard of her.
Correct. Like the Doritos are different over there. Like all the things
that
are
so much better
are completely different over there.
And the food is not a chicken tender.
It's not.
No, it's not.
That there's a lot of friends that I know are lactose intolerant. We have a Facebook group. And they talk about how they eat pasta in Italy and they have no issues whatsoever.
There's no issues.
So I feel like you're not gonna be too happy.
And the thing that surprised me is everything that you drink is room temperature. And if you ask for ice, it looks like you're crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
No AC anywhere.
That is true because beer and everything. I mean, in Europe.
Well, listen, here's the good thing is that we get back on the ship every day. So I'll be able to eat breakfast before we get off to get my chemicals. And then when we're out and about all day, if there's anything I don't like, we'll be getting back on the ship to eat dinner. So
you can at least get some bread.
Yeah, I could try some bread. And if they like some pasta or something, we'll see. Girl, that's going to be a whole
Barcelona.
podcast. It's just the food. And we'll have to see what I ate.
Putting rolls in your pocket.
No, I don't want to be disappointed. I don't want to be mad. Don't do it. You're going to be like, this beautiful thing. And I decided to have crackers. And I'll be like, be so mad.
Oh my God.
That's
All
great.
Right. Well,
Barcelona.
what do you see for Holly?
Holly, you are finally, there's a lot of chapters closing up for you that have been loose ended, especially in the last 4 to 5 years, that are finally coming to an end. I do believe that closure is happening this year, especially before Christmas. And I'm telling you, it's back to that fall Halloween feeling again for that. I don't know how to explain this to you or how to do it differently than this, but your daughter needs to be on stage, dancing, singing, performing. It's her thing. It's becoming alive in her to a whole different level.
That's awesome. Miguel, what just happened?
Sorry. Oh, we're doing the podcast. Sorry, somebody was at the door, and I don't know why. Just it was Angie, and her expression just freaked me out. Sorry, go ahead.
That's right. My daughter does do that. So she's like, in dance, and she's got musical theater at the dance place, and she wanted to do drama again this year in middle school. But they also have a thing called thespians drama's on Tuesdays. Thespians are on Thursday, and it's like a competition team. And I was like, you don't want to do all that, do you? Mainly because I'm like, it's a lot for me to do. I was like, you don't want to do that too. And she's like, maybe. And then she went to one meeting. I'm like, let's just see. And she's already in. She's like sucked into the whole thing. And I was like, all right, we're doing it. And of course, I think this is very normal. And I'm not saying this in any, please understand, I really am not saying this in any shady way possible, because I think this is a very normal thing. My ex-husband loves him some sports, right? He is a softball player and, has been doing that his whole life, and he loves it. And so he's been a little bit disappointed that Maya has never gotten into sports, which I think is a pretty understandable thing, right? Like if you're really into something, you would love your kid to try it out at least.
Right.
And so I think he also feels like, of course you put her in dance because you were in dance. Of course you put her in theater because you were in theater. But and again, no shade. I think he's just probably like, can I see her at a softball game like once? Can we? And she was curious about it or whatever, but I don't know about that stuff. So I was like, sign her up. I don't know.
Right,
so
you do it.
She has been doing dance, which is something that she requested because I had her in tumbling because she wanted to try that. She wasn't good at that. Fine. It's fine. And so I was like, are we even enjoying this? She's like, nah, I'm going to go back to dance. So we went back to dance. And then I didn't even push her in the direction of theater or anything. She was very interested in wanting to try drama club back in like 4th grade when they were doing Annie. So that's what really got her in. And so, yes, I say all that to say she's in every aspect that she could possibly be in. So we have got that checked off.
Well, and I feel like that's the age when you start to realize if you want to do sports or the arts. Because I remember being in middle school when we were in Denver, and I loved running like short distances because I was really fast. And it was before I started discovering tater tots and bologna sandwiches.
Oh,
mayonnaise.
And mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise every time, honey. But I used to run. And so then when we moved to Atlanta, because, that's why people train at high altitudes.
Yes.
Because then when I moved to Atlanta,
thin air,
right.
If you're used to breathing, like getting your oxygen through that thin air, you go back down to like sea level or whatever. You're like supercharged.
And I was like winning all these things for like gym class and stuff like that. And I was like kind of interested in track and field. And then I was like, wait, but you got to be out every afternoon practicing. I was like, I'd much rather be in the dark theater running lines or at a student council meeting than doing that. Air conditioning. But it was literally around Maya's age now that I like consciously made the decision that I wanted to go in either the arts or student government stuff.
Yeah, and she's in middle school, so she likes what she likes. I mean, she went to a sleepover at another girl's house, and this friend of hers has older sisters. So of course that's big because, you know, these are like 9th and 12th grade girls. And so the middle school kids look up to them. And so they're interested in like drama and stuff too. And the older sister had like a friend over or something, and they ended up like choreographing the cell block tango.
Oh, from Chicago?
But they did the version where they said single my ass. Instead of that, they say butt. And I was like, when I went to pick her up the next day, they're like, we need to perform for you. Just please, really quick. And I was like, oh, we're in it. I was like, I don't care. And so then they started playing it and I started singing along, and Maya's like, oh, stop. I'm like, sorry. I just know. I know it. But you go ahead. So she is interested in this stuff. Like, she is passionate about it. And you know, it just has never worked out. Also, when you are co-parenting with someone, and Stacy, you know this,
I do.
You need to see the kid. A lot of times it goes like an every other weekend situation. Well, luckily, so far, you know, with her being in dance and drama and things, rarely do we have a commitment on a weekend, which works out great for us. Because when you're back and forth every other weekend, if you've got to also coordinate like a soccer game or a volleyball tournament or something like that, that takes up a lot of the weekend, which is when you're supposed to be spending quality time with the other parents. So it's working out very well. And you're right, Miguel. This is the age when you really start to think, oh, I think this is like part of me.
You do. And like Jacob, he turned 15 yesterday. He's a freshman.
Yes, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And he's home today. That was part of his birthday. He got to take the day off. But he's in band and ROTC. And I would never have thought in a million years that he'd be in band. He was a soccer boy forever. And it's only been the last 2 to 3 years he plays trombone. And I mean, he is in it. And I'm like, okay. Like,
a lot of dedication. Two things that need dedication.
That is very dedicated. I would, as a band lady myself, yes.
Yeah. So, and he loves it, marching band and everything. It's like, I thought back, because, you know, we're not the youngest people, but back when we were in band, it was not what it is now. I mean, now it's like it glitz and glamour and sparkles, and you do all these different things. And I mean, it's like he has 4 hours of band practice twice a week.
No, Stacey, my band was a little bit glitzy. Like, not a lot.
No, I went to St. Pete High School. Like, yeah, you know, it wasn't.
No. It's like, you got to be on it. Like, there are so many practices, and it's like a family. It was so much fun. Yes. Yeah.
I still talk to the people I was in band with now, not long ago, because it is a family. And Calvin, what in the world is going on with your stomach and this whole neck pain thing you got going on? You need a massage?
I just had one yesterday, actually.
Okay, good.
It's funny you say that. So there was actually a few weeks ago, there was a time where I couldn't like do this because I was in so much pain.
Oh my gosh.
And then it went away. And then I was like, okay, maybe I just slept wrong or whatever, but I probably should go to a chiropractor. And then I took a workout class and I was in so much pain. I definitely wasn't doing leg day correctly. And I was in so much pain on my lower back. And then I actually went, and I think I got a massage yesterday or 2 days ago. I can't remember. And the woman was like, wow, you had a crap ton of knots. She was getting out all of my knots out here. And I never signed up for deep pressure. I hate deep pressure. I like to relax.
Yeah.
But I signed up for deep pressure because I felt like I needed it. And she told me, she was like, you're going to hate me for the next 48 hours. And I was like, okay. And I haven't felt any pain though. Like, I feel much better than I did a few days ago. So
she got the knots out.
She did. And I feel good.
God,
it's all the stuff that you're pulling in that you're not dealing with. So you've been you, but you know what I'm talking about. You put things in boxes, and you're Holly and I say it to everybody. Your body keeps the score.
Your body does. Your body knows.
No, absolutely.
What you keeping inside?
Frustrations. I mean, I talked about it. I talked about it with you guys a few days ago. That meeting that we had. So I am just constantly reminded of where I'm at sometimes, and I'm not happy about it. And I start thinking about decisions that maybe I should or should have not done. But then I also try to go back.
Do that.
Yeah, and I can't do that because I also have to reflect on how grateful I am for where I am. But I always do that. I always like am complaining about something, and then I want to try to cancel it by thinking what I'm grateful for, but then I'm also ignoring the side of where I'm angry. But ultimately, I've come to the realization numerous times where things are in my control, and I just need to act on it and stop complaining. And I've tried to stop complaining, but then I didn't do the other side, which is work on it.
Right.
So that's kind of where my mindset has been at.
Yeah, we need a session. You need to text me later or whatever. We need to sit down.
Yeah.
A little sit down. I love it.
Mentally, I think I'm okay. I'm okay.
Absolutely,
There have been times where I've been like, I don't want to be here right now. Not in that kind of way, like not in a dark way, but more in like I don't want to be physically here right now. I just want to be home in bed. You know, I love me my bed.
Somewhere relaxing where you can just
if there's a chair,
a couch,
he gonna find it.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna sit.
Yep.
I tell Miguel this all the time. You know, when people are like, "Oh no, I gotta stand up. I've just been sitting for too long." I can't relate.
Nope.
I love to sit. I will sit whenever.
You'll sit before a flight.
Before a flight.
Literally, I'll be like, maybe we should stand up a little bit just because we're gonna be sitting for the next 4 hours. Bitch, we went to San Diego. He was sitting up until the minute they were like, all right, group 5.
The minute.
I was like, Kelvin, do you want to get up and stretch your legs? Nope.
Nope, you're gonna be sitting.
I'm love to sit.
Like, I wish if we were like on that Elvis Duran millions and millions of dollars and we could take requests on how our studio was built. I would want one of those like studios that I could like raise everything up so I could stand up.
Would go up.
Yes, because they have those if you're like, Elvis Duran, Ryan Seacrest, and you're like, I want my console to raise up. And they're like, absolutely. Would you like people to do it manually or do you want it hydraulic?
There's little tiny Keebler elves at the bottom.
Right. And they're like, I want that Huba every morning. Raise my console. Oh my and I'm like, no, we don't get that.
And a golden mic.
In a golden mic. Yeah, no, we don't get that. No. So yeah, I like to stand. Kelvin likes to sit. Anything else that you're seeing for us, Miss Soul Worker Stacy?
I also, who around you is getting married? Somebody within the 3 of you, someone's getting married because I keep seeing you guys getting ready to go to not a funeral, a wedding.
Oh, wow.
Well, I am. I do have another friend, but I'm not that close with her.
No, it's you, bitch.
It's me, right? Okay. Saving that. Hold on.
Seriously.
It's me.
It's you.
Yeah.
Because someone made an announcement last week while we were on our hometown tour, which we haven't talked about.
No,
not on the podcast.
We haven't talked about it on the podcast.
Haven't.
No, we didn't. Well, that's because we didn't do the podcast last week. So
right.
That part too.
Well, maybe you could share with the group right now.
Yeah. Platypus Posse.
So we have 2 separate plans, but the problem is that we're gonna do a courthouse wedding. We're not spending $50K plus on a night. No offense to anybody who's done that.
Wow.
I love that.
Why are you looking at me, bitch?
I didn't even look at
Why
you,
you
bro.
bitch? I can see you, bitch. You looking at me.
I love that for you, but you worked very hard on your career for you to be able to afford that, and and you still are paying for it. Love that for you.
Are you still paying on that wedding?
Absolutely.
So that's why we're going to decide on doing a courthouse wedding. Other than that, the other option is just getting the marriage license and then doing a ceremony at the park, which is more of my fiance Oscar's idea. For me, I'm happy with the courthouse wedding too, but the
like
dates,
a literal wedding in a courthouse.
not a literal. No, not a literal one, because you can only have like you, your person, and your 2 witnesses. So
yeah. So what do you want?
I mean, I would love to have a wedding.
Oh, you
Point
want
blank, yes, but that's just not the
it's not in the cards.
No.
But anyway, you had given a date though, and I think the biggest thing is that it's not far away.
No, it's not. It's
Stop it. Okay, you guys have to remember this. I didn't know any of this. This was not hey, let me mention this, and so this way Kelvin can say it. This wasn't, you guys all have to understand that. This was simply me feeling like someone's getting married. That's crazy to me.
Tell us when it is.
So we're hoping for November 23rd, and then we have to, but I'm not worried because it's so simple. Like, it's so simple. Like,
you're not worried, bitch. I got to figure out flights.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm sitting here thinking. I'm like, I could leave here.
But also, correct. And that's the week before Thanksgiving. So we have to think about like, well, who are we inviting and who's going to officiate us and who needs to get that done? And those are the things that we have to think about and then also do some photo shoots. But I'm not worried. I don't know. I'm just really not that worried. I already found the photographer
So that's
that I've
great.
been thinking about working with. It's just all the other bits and pieces. And it's also thinking, well, what are we going to do at the park and who we're going to have there? And then the party, the actual like celebration.
Is that like the same day or is that like a whole different time?
No. That's going to be moved. Everything's going to be moved. And we're doing everything jumbled. The bachelor party is going to be probably next year. Like we're doing all the things in different.
Right.
That's so cool.
Maybe we don't. I don't like. First of all, I just assumed I was invited to your wedding. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I'm not saying that you're not.
Second of all, it's okay if I'm not. My feelings will probably hurt a little bit. I'll be honest with you. But it's okay.
We haven't even thought about.
But second of all, if I don't come to that, like, because I'm like, oh, I really got stressed out about this when I was taking a shower the other day. I got worried.
Ooh, I'm bringing this up on the air next week. Invited to Kelvin's wedding, or are we
know what the wedding's gonna look like,
or is it gonna be we're relegated to just like the party with people that he's like, I guess.
Which okay, if I'm
part though,
you are gonna be a part of it.
No, I'm not in it
on a screen.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Virtually, bitch. I'll
come
in here. I'll be like I normally do. This is our relationship. I just see you over.
You can be on FaceTime.
I can't sit here and tell you what we have thought out and planned. We haven't even thought about the people yet. Like, but obviously you're invited.
2 months.
I know it'll be fine.
Hold on, I'm putting this on the schedule for next week. This is too good.
This is why I have planned 0. I don't want. Look at me. It's not even my wedding, and I'm like, what do we do?
You're stressed.
That's why everyone's like, oh, Holly, how's the wedding planning going? I'm like, it's not.
It's not.
And that's what we did for a really long time, and I was okay with it because I didn't really care. But now we won't do it. Now we want to do it.
Good.
So yeah. So
when you have to do it, Oscar's the one who really wants the party and the pretty. Like, yeah.
No, it's Kelvin, right?
It's me. I want the party.
Kelvin wants it.
Party, but Oscar
wants to like
simplicity
let's
and
do this.
quick. Yes.
I love that. I'm so excited.
You.
Okay, sorry. That's so
schedule
cool.
for next week.
Oh, good. That's great.
Yeah, so we can hash this out again.
Which part? Like what part even?
I know. I want to just the whole. I literally titled it on the schedule for next week. Are we invited to Kelvin and Oscar's wedding? I want the drama of the tease. I can already hear it now. It's 7:45. There is already drama brewing for producer Kelvin's wedding behind the scenes. What's the wedding and is Holly going to cry? Find out in 2 songs.
If it's going to be at that park, I'm going to be across the street with binoculars.
I'll just be sitting on my car and I'm like, Holly, I can put you on FaceTime and you can look because I can't even get near it, but we can just look from far away. Zoom in with my iPhone update.
I'll be like, which one is it? Who's coming down the aisle? Who is it? Wait, I can't see.
Abe walk over, pretend to be a trash man just to get some audio. He can
like sitting in the can.
Why does Abe have to be a trash man?
Yeah, he'll be in the trash can and he'll just like pop up and be like, I can get the audio, y'all. I think it's pretty
He's Oscar the Grouch.
Yes.
Jesus.
Oh,
We have it all planned. The day's planned. You're ready. There we go.
You don't have to worry about it because we just did it for you.
Yeah, we're done.
It's fine.
Great.
Oh my goodness. Well, Soul Worker Stacy.
Yeah. Hi.
Well.
Sorry. Love you.
Love you. Gotta go. Actually, gotta go. I got a haircut, and we have a bit of a issue we have to deal with behind the scenes, Holly. That's what I just got. But nothing's crazy.
Is it because I did that email?
No, actually.
Should I not have done that email?
No. Anyway, we'll talk about it afterwards. But it's nothing bad.
I'm gonna get fired.
No, not at all. Not at all.
The end of Miguel and Holly universe.
Yeah, this is it. Be the Kelvin Show with Soul Worker Stacy.
Bye.